Good day, ladies and gentlemen, men and women. Welcome back to the Aviation Channel, Aviation Club of Uganda, in partnership with Wambaero Innovations. My name is still Tony James, your host. And of course, on board today, we are back with Comrade Ivan Mukasa.
It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you, sir. And as well, on the side of enthusiasm, we have Mr. Lokman. Pleasure having you here, sir.
Pleasure having you, Mr. Thank you.
We are back today, gentlemen. Last time we were here discussing how to join the aviation realm in Uganda. We discussed a lot, and today we are back. Still on the same track. This time around, we want to discuss something engaging flight training. Last time we looked at someone becoming a pilot, the necessities, what you need. Now, topic number one will be the agenda today: flight training.
Flight training.
Yes. Mr. I'll begin with you, Captain Ivan. This statement, flight training, when someone is enrolled, and we call it an ATO, or the flight training center.
Yeah.
This is what they're going to get inside there for flight training.
Yeah.
And with this, there is a cost.
Yeah.
So today we want to look at the cost first.
The cost implications within flight training.
Flight training.
It's a pleasure being here wherever you are. Good day. My name's Ivan, your aviation guy from Wambaero Innovations. And today's panel, we are so excited that we have one of the enthusiasts, Mr. Rukman Cheyune. Pleased to see you, Kanyike.
Yes, sir.
Pleased to see you once again.
Thank you.
Today's topic, like the moderator said, we're looking at the cost implications that are within flight training. You see, the Aviators Club set off the platform to sensitize people on how things are done during flight training or how to join aviation. Case study, piloting. Now today we are into the nitty-gritties of flight training. What goes for flight training? Because trust me, a lot of pilots out there went for flight training, but trust me, they didn't have people to discuss the nitty-gritties of what? Flight training. Live example is me. I went to flight school, paid the dues, but I didn't know what the money was going to be subjected to. So now, today we are here to deduce each and every component of flight training, cost by cost. Okay, so when you join an ATO, that approved the training organization or flight school.
Let us call it flight school.
Flight school for our viewers. You immediately know that you're going to pay tuition fee. Okay, what's tuition fee? Tuition fee is the fee that you pay in, okay, so that the school can grant you its services. Okay, flight instructions, all right? That's the tuition fee. You gotta pay that, like it or not. Like you would go to university or secondary school, you pay tuition fee. Then the school grants you its services, like the kitchen, you access the kitchen, you access the library, you access the teachers, that's the tuition fee. Okay, next.
Captain, before you go next, we're still discussing something about this tuition. We want to shed a brighter picture on this statement of tuition. You know, we usually speak of Omuntu Wawansi services in Uganda.
Definitely, and that's why
let us fix this into the Omuntu Wawansi statement. You know, once when we were still in high school or in elementary school down there, we had same. We paid tuition fees. We call them school fees.
School fees,
here, and share the picture to generally Omuntu Wawansi we are speaking.
What that would mean.
What besides meaning, how do they pay this, and what kind of intervals do they pass through to pay this? Make it wide. Make it broad.
Okay.
Can they take partial payments like we used to have in secondary school? So give us a general picture of the tuition fees.
The tuition fee here is not restricted to paying the whole sum of money. Okay, you can decide to pay flight by flight.
Okay.
You can say, okay, let me go in for 5 flights. You pay those 5 flights. You get the instructions. You access the library. You access the school materials. Okay, and everything. Once the 5 flights are done, then you put in another, you pay in another sum of money.
Before that, Captain, let me come in once again. There are statements we've had during this flight training. It's called ground school.
Ground school. Huh?
So can I, let's say for instance, remember those subjects we used to have principles of flight,
navigation,
yes,
meteorology,
that entire ground school stuff before I engage actual flying of the aircraft. Can someone, our viewer today, have first payment of those before they move into actual flying? Because
flight training, the whole process of flight training is very expensive.
And does this captain do with the ATO or it's general?
It does. It applies with ATO. What I'm trying to say, flight training is very expensive. So you gotta know how to break the things according to your pockets. You gotta know how to live by your means according to your pockets, okay? Because these things are module-like, okay? Say for instance, ground school will take this sum of money. You gotta know that, okay? Flights will take this sum of money. You gotta know that, okay? When it comes to exams, they will take this sum of money. So you have to fix your software necessary at the right time and in the right place and then the right sums of money. Okay. Now, moderator was here asking, how can I do it? Can I do it? Can I pay for ground school? Then I enroll myself for ground school and get done. Once I get done with ground school, then I pay for exams. I enroll myself with the exams, and once I'm done with the exams, then pay for flights. Yes, it can happen.
It can happen. Yeah.
So the whole thing is portion by portion. Okay. The whole thing is to ease up the whole process, because these are tours. I mean, these flight schools they really know that flight training is expensive. So they gotta break the things, okay, module by module or piece by piece to make it affordable and convenient to someone. Okay.
Captain Ivan, let me bring in on the side of enthusiasm, Mr. Lukman.
Okay.
Mr. Lukman, on the side of passion and enthusiasm, on the Ugandan side, let us not make it international, let us make it on the Ugandan ground. Okay. Have you ever heard a statement about the institution fees in Ugandan airports or Ugandan flight training centers?
Now, of course, the institution fees are there. When I've interacted with some of my friends that are actually student pilots,
right here in Uganda.
Yes, right here in Uganda. I'm actually quite a number. I actually studied with them. They passed through the normal system. Then instead of going to university, they branched out. And what's interesting is that what I got to learn was what he talked about, the flying, actually getting into the air is what you pay in bits, but then this ground school, you pay it in a batch. Yes. From the information that I got from them.
Because the fees is not all that big.
Yes. So once you get that, you do exams then.
Ground
school. Yes. Then they put you in the aircraft. Then according to the number of hours that you've flown, that's where the charges are based on. From the little that I know.
Yes, you're very, very right. You're very right.
Yes.
Because now look, there are some rich people out there who could say, okay, what's the cost of flight training? And the guy comes in to say
the general.
Yes. It could be $30,000. The guy goes in, banks in $30,000, and kaboom, you're done. And there are us who came in like so. Okay.
They used to call.
Can you give us
self-sponsored?
Self-sponsored. Yeah, you're right. Can you give us the quotation on how you bill your services? In fact, that's what I went into. So they gave me the quotation. And I said, okay, so to start up with, what should I start up with? They said, okay, you gotta start up with ground school, okay? You pay it in a bunch, have the 9 or 8 subjects, get done with them, enroll yourself, ground school. I paid it, got done with ground school. Then next was, I'm done with ground school. Let me start up with exams, okay? I paid the exams, got done with exams. Then what am I going to do next is to fly. Okay, then I went in, paid flights. Okay, I paid 10, then another 10, and another 10 into went on like that, just to easy the whole process. Okay, of flight training. Because if you look at the numbers that are really within flight training, you can get crazy. All right, they are the amounts you can really get crazy.
Captain, sorry for interrupting. A question. the amount of money that you pay, I need to understand that it is wholly determined by the amount of time that you spend on that one sector. Like let's say, for instance, okay, let me go straight to flights.
Flights.
Like let's say you're practicing the takeoff. If you do not master the taking off in time properly, you have to pay again and again. This is what we were until you the
perfect it.
Says, look, man, you're now okay.
You're now okay.
Proceed next.
And it's not the instructor that will say so, because you'll be subjected to what we call a check ride. Some other instructor is going to sit in the cockpit, fly him up. If he's certified, then he can grant you the next level of what? Flight training.
And if it's not, then you gotta do
you gotta do it again and again and again, and it's the course you're burning time and burning money. And that's why we keep on telling guys, try to apprehend whatever is taught you in record time, so that you don't keep on repeating all the time. Until you certify that instructor, then it's when that you're sentenced to, or you're pushed to another level of flight training.
Gentlemen, I want to take you for a short commercial break, and we'll be back right after a couple of adverts. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back shortly.
Leslie 2662 radar contact. Leslie 2662, proceed direct PV, resume the departure.
Proceed direct heavy, resume the departure, Leslie 2662.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from the short commercial break. Remember, we are being sponsored still by Wama Aero Innovations, a simulator company here, based in Kampala, Uganda. Gentlemen, welcome back from the commercial break.
Thank you.
We went into the break still discussing about tuition fees.
Yes.
But I think we broke that best for everyone to understand.
Okay.
Right, Captain, after I've been paying these tuition fees, and I've done this so-called ground school and the rest, what next?
What next is are the flights. Okay, so you paid for ground school, you've enrolled, you paid for exams. Thank God you've got them. You finished them. Now next is flights. Okay, so before you even think of thinking in the cockpit, there has to be an aircraft. So some of these flight schools don't tend to own their own aircrafts. Okay, so what they do is to rent or lease aircrafts from elsewhere. Okay, so they bring them on board. Now you're going to face the charges of the aircraft. Okay, you're going to face the charges of the aircraft.
Besides the tuition fees, I still someone viewing us today is the typical Ugandan aviation enthusiast. I'm gonna still pay the rental fees.
Yeah.
I pay the tuition, and I still pay rental fees to rent an aircraft.
It could be the tuition fee could be part of the rental. Okay, but we are talking about things that the companies that really make up flight training.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so it's incumbent to look at the aircraft rentals as well, knowing the nitty-gritties. Okay.
The detailed breakdown,
The detailed breakdown.
Because someone would want full accountability.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when they tell you, when they happen to say, okay, now you're going to fly, each flight is going to take you, say, I'm just giving a figure, all right? Each flight is going to take you, let's say, 1 million. Then you definitely know there is a portion of that aircraft rental within the 1 million. Okay? There's a portion of that money within the 1 million. Okay? Because they can't tell you now pay airport tax, pay hangar fees, pay landing fees, pay touch and go fees. You know?
Yeah.
They can't give you all that. All they'll say, you're going to start your flights. So each hour of flight costs 1 million. Then you definitely know that aircraft charges are there.
Captain, I want you to shed a broader picture on this rental structure thing. If Mr. Lukman is a student pilot, and he's done with the other first service and whatever, and is subjected to rent an aircraft, what comes? Do I just rent an aircraft, sit there, and then I have to show the aircraft there's an instructor and hangar fees, and just break it down? Is it just the rental fees? Is just for an aircraft, an empty aircraft, or it comes with after paying rental fees, then it's fueled, the aircraft is already fueled, the instructor is inside there waiting for you, to do checks and rights, or break it down first.
Okay. What we're looking at here are some of the components that constitute flight training. So the ambiguity of sums of money that are within flight training are due to the following services that are provided. Okay? So, in other words, the agenda would be what makes flight training expensive. In other words. So it's what we are trying to get through. Okay? That on the big sums of money that you encounter during the course of your flight training, to break it down, these are the components that constitute to those big sums of money. Like aircraft rental. Okay? Because now, look, the flying school rented the aircraft. Okay? It's upon you to pay the fee for the services of that aircraft. It's not a flight school.
Okay.
Okay. So when it comes to fueling, the same aircraft, okay, it's upon you to pay the fuel that is going to be put in that aircraft. And the endurance of a Cessna most of the Cessna is 5 hours of endurance. Now to cut all the risk.
That's on a full tank?
No, that's a full tank. Okay. For every flight, you have to pay for a full tank.
Yes.
Of course. 5 hours of endurance. Okay. So you may call in for 1 hour flight. So for instance, Foxes Gear Tango, ready to take off runway, blah 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 blah. We have a drills of 1 hour, but the endurance is 5. You have to pump full tank because you never know, things may go ballistic during the course of you may go off course, but you still have that endurance of 1 hour. Okay. Next, you have to pay for the equipment fee. The equipment fee. All right.
Which kind of equipment are Captain?
The headset that you're using, the navigation aids that you're using.
I thought those are already in the aircraft. I'm paid rental fees and it's like Mr. Lukman, we are both drivers. It's like I come to these car rental areas, and after I pay the day, because they ask for a daily payment, and they say you've paid for the car, now you're gonna pay us for the key. Then we give you the key, so you start the car. Captain, isn't this
let us look at the equipment that we're talking about.
Because we are talking about Omuntu 160 here, and you cannot tell me I've paid rental fees. Now, Mr. Lukman, on side of enthusiasm, please let me engage you on this. Because
I would say it's ludicrous because how are you going to explain to someone that you rented out the aircraft today, and now you're also supposed to rent out the headset?
Gentlemen, thank you so much for the submission. In fact, it's getting more interesting.
Of course.
This is aviation we're talking about. It's a different world altogether. Okay?
An expensive one.
Yes, of course.
And that's why we are trying to fight as hard as possible.
Minimize that cost. Yeah.
So, you don't want to pay repeatedly for the equipment. Then buy it yourself. Own it so that you cut the cost. Okay? I, for one, from the very beginning, I didn't have headsets. So the school had to provide me headsets, and I had to pay for that.
Captain, we are trying to pull a crowd to join this aviation sector we're talking about.
Yes.
In Uganda. Speaking of this, let me give you an example, Mr. Lukman. The people who remember I did chemistry.
Yes.
And it's like they tell you head to the laboratory and come with your beaker,
and your
come
test
with
tube,
and the test tubes
and the chemicals.
Because the lab agents.
Remember, you rented the aircraft, you put in the fuel.
Yes, you're paying the instructor
and
everything, the landing and the hang, and say, please come with your headset.
So you basically construct the plane.
Everything.
So with equipment, we're looking at the headsets, the navigation aids, That's
like
if
that
you happen not to have them, then the school will rent you one.
They will rent you instead of assisting you with one.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
That's the way it's done. So in so doing, we are constituting flight training expensively. So to cut the expenses, buy it once and own it. Buy the navigation aids, own them. Buy the headsets, own them. Next,
Ladies and gentlemen, I come in shortly. Remember our last program we had, we were saying about this captain. Remember we said one of the ways to minimize this is by forming groups actually, and then you study this. You rather exchange this study material.
Yeah, next program I think we shall be looking how to minimize costs during the course of
we talked about that in the other program actually. You could go on.
Okay, so now next instructor's fee. This guy is fully certified as an instructor. Okay, it's on your head to pay him. I think that one is understandable.
Okay. Captain, out of curiosity, these instructors, they are certified pilots, number one.
Yeah.
And so, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a bit, of course, now asking
no worries.
on behalf of the enthusiasts out there.
Yes.
So, I've always wondered, before you go into commercial flying, you can first become an instructor and you gain the hours, right? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
So most of the pilots who train, the student pilots, are able to actually fly commercial, true or false?
They are already, the story is this. After having done your PPL like me, you enroll for CPL, okay? Or you could enroll for a rating straight away. Go to the wing or direct course.
Yeah.
So if you decide to go for this module CPL, commercial pilot's license, okay, you hour build and do exams. Once you're done, okay, you need to go for a type rating. Okay? But before you go for a type rating, you need to have specific hours of flight.
Okay.
So to build, the easier way to build those hours is to become a flight instructor. You got it?
And then fit in this again, rental fees again.
Yes. There you go. Now,
continue.
Once you become flight instructor, you have to accumulate a minimum of 1,500 hours.
As an instructor.
I've actually seen student pilots usually on social media, joking about the accumulation of those hours.
So the better way to do it and the easier way to do it is to become an instructor. Okay? So once you fly with this student, okay, you share the hours.
Okay.
The student takes his hour, you take your hour. You take his hour, you take your. When you accumulate 1,500 hours, a minimum of 1,500 hours, then you cross over, you could go for a type rating.
Mr. Lukman, I need you to shed for me a picture again on this instructor thing.
Yes.
Isn't this a bad idea for a student pilot from Omuntu Wawansi generally? Because you've spoken about an instructor also looking for hours and I'm paying for
Definitely.
Mr.
Lukman,
what's your sales?
So because the instructor is basically riding on your
payment, actually.
So I guess those are the tax. I'm being paid for it.
What you guys are forgetting is that this guy is passing knowledge to you.
I understand, but we are speaking pockets here. Besides, yes, I'm getting knowledge, but we are speaking money terms. So, all right, go on, Captain.
So now, this guy sits on the right hand side, you sit on the left hand side, you're the PIC, giving instructions of the drill that you have to.
Captain PIC?
Pilot in command.
Thank you very much.
All right. So next, medical fee. Okay. Of course, you have to pay for the medical fee because it's you. We need all the people here.
Captain, I wear glasses. Would that be a problem?
That's no problem. You can fly with your glasses.
I also wear glasses.
I'm sure you guys are joining aviation. You're joining flight schools.
Yes.
You'll be dressed with your glasses. There's no problem. So medical fee is compulsory. Now let's look at the license and renting fees. Okay, guys, when you come in for flight school, okay, you're obliged to pay for licenses and the renting fee. Okay, you have to pay for your student's pilot's license. That's the first license you get.
Okay.
Upon having finished your PPL, okay, still you have to pay for your PPL license.
Yes.
I think that one is understandable.
Yes.
Captain, you skipped something I wanted our general public to know about medical fees. When I was in Malaysia and we talked about this medical thing. For example, personally, by then I was 105 kgs. When I did a medical there, the guy told me, wrote something, this one is oversize.
Yeah.
So rather overweight.
Yes, yes.
So that's what I failed the medical because of becoming.
You should mind your weight.
Yeah?
You should
So
seriously mind your weight.
after I trimmed the weight to the weight they wanted, when I look normal to them, do I still again have to pay medical fees to redo another medical?
No. You have to streamline that. When you're back on scale, then you continue with that because you
Perfect.
passed the other medical.
Gentlemen, again, I want to take you for another short commercial break, and we'll return. Once we return, we'll be talking about something next. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Swamp Fox 2 departure Philly transition will maintain 4,000, expect flight levels 200, 10 minutes after departure.
Charleston Ground, Boeing 23 Heavy, ready for taxi with Charlie.
Boeing 23 Heavy, runway 15, taxi via Mike, Bravo, Charlie, cross runway 3, Delta.
15 via Mike, Bravo, Charlie, cross runway 3, Delta, Boeing 23 Heavy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kilo Bravo uniform, I'm just gonna park near that guy south from the restricted area.
I believe that would be
We're good
me.
at 24 car, 75 keeps going up the taxiway. Do you want us to just keep going? He's like on the grass right now.
Taxi chaos taking place out there right now, so we're going to watch our back when we make our way up to runway 15. Oh, fuck, we got the longest taxi ever. Yeah, should be there in about half an hour.
Cross 21 Alpha to the ramp, November 11816. Take a look first left on hotel here, if you can, and then right on Alpha, hold short, runway 23.
This might be the most aircraft I've ever seen taxiing at one time. Okay, that aircraft just landed right there. We got two PJs off to the side. They got an A330 popping a wheelie over there. We have some mating Airbus aircraft over there on the ramp. Jesus Christ, that's an orgy. Looks like we'll be number 2 for takeoff. Anticipating some more aircraft coming in on arrival here in a moment.
94 monitor, tower 126.
Okay.
Welcome back from this short commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, we're being sponsored once again by Wama Aero Innovations, the simulator company in Uganda. Gentlemen,
Yep.
Yes.
we went to the commercial break, still talking about we are
done with the medical.
medicals.
Now next are the airport fees.
Okay.
Guys, when you enroll as a student pilot, of course you have to use the airport facilities.
Yes.
And the airport facilities,
Captain, you mean like the hangar?
the hangars,
The runway,
the
taxiway.
taxiways.
And these the ground crews, yeah? Like the ones who service the aircraft when you... Are they...
No, those belong to the school because the school has to have a hangar.
Okay.
And it's because that you're using those aircrafts, it's upon you to pay the parking fees for the aircraft that you're using, guys.
But it's their aircraft. Why do I need to pay for?
Because you rented it out.
I rented it out.
Definitely, the
Why
school
do
wouldn't be having that aircraft.
Am I taking
parked
it
there.
home?
You're not taking it
Yes.
home.
Then
But
why?
the school wouldn't be having that aircraft parked there
If it was not
if it wasn't for you coming from Uganda, going there doing flight training.
Okay.
So you gotta pay the hangar fees. Next, for every touch and go or for every landing, you as a student pilot together with your instructor, you gotta pay the landing fees.
Under
Okay.
the airport fees.
And the airport fees different from landing fees.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought landing fees fall under airport fees. Previously, that's what they are.
No.
Oh, okay.
Airport fee fall under the hangar fee.
Differentiate this, Captain.
Yes.
I've paid for airport fees. And now I
That
have-
means
But the runway is also
your
the
aircraft.
airport.
Listen,
So
yes, your aircraft. That means you paid for the the airport fees. That means your aircraft is granted permission to be in those hangars at the airport using the airport because the hangars don't belong to the school.
Okay.
The hangars belong to the airport. Those are airport facilities. You gotta pay for them. Okay, and once you take off their runway and come back and land on their runway, you gotta pay for the landing fees.
Mr. Let me call you Mr. Enthusiast.
Yes.
Let me give you an example here.
Yes.
Again, you speak for the
For
people.
Yes, for the enthusiasts out there.
Let me give you an
And you're feeling it
example here
hard.
of Bar Aviation here in
Yes.
Kajansi. They have their own Charlie 172s.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
school owned.
Yes.
And am I going to pay again for the school-owned aircraft, am I going to pay again the rental fees, airport fees, landing fees? It's the same school. They have their own runway, their own aircraft.
Okay, thank you for that submission. Let me clarify on this. The reason why in the previous program I told students, please take a good look on the school that you're going to do flight training. Okay, make sure the school almost owns 75 or 70% of the facilities that necessitate your flight training. Because once the school owns the plane, the lesser the money that you're going to incur.
Because
definitely,
an example
the school won't subject you to rentals of the aircraft. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. The reason why, sorry to say this, the reason why my school at Vanderbilt Blue Chip is quite cheap at flight training. It's because they entirely own the entire fleet of aircraft. So I did not have to pay aircraft what? Charges or rentals. Okay. So those are some of the ways that you can ease the entire process of what? Flight training. Look for a school that almost owns the entire fleet of what? Aircraft. So you won't incur those costs of what?
So it becomes much more cheaper once the school has the aircraft.
Definitely.
They have their own hangar, they have their own runway.
Now,
it's minimized.
Yes. It becomes much more cheaper.
Right.
Now, when it comes to the facility, if Bar Aviation, I could imagine, only Kajansi Airfield, then you won't pay, of course, landing fees. Okay. You won't pay, of course, hangar fees. In so doing, bringing the cost of flight training much more affordable. But if the good school, Bar Aviation, that good art of Bar Aviation, I really like it.
Very nice.
Very nice. They have it all. Bar Aviation, we salute you.
Very new aircraft there.
But if Bar Aviation doesn't own the airfield, it doesn't own the hangars, then you gotta pay the hangar fee, then you gotta pay the landing fees. Okay? So, the same applies. If you fly from Vanderbilt and go to Pilanesberg, make a touch and go there. Like 2 touch and goes, you gotta pay for those 2 landing fees. Okay? Go to Lanseria, make a touch and go there. You gotta pay Lanseria that landing fee.
Let me give you. Let me state this. For example, I'm asking. I've took off from Vanderbilt.
Yes.
With my instructor. Maybe when I'm flying solo.
You're going to Wamba.
Yes. And when I talk to ATC, I'm clear to land. Or maybe do one touch and go. Then I touch, configure everything, and again.
Then they book you.
They
book you. Sierra Yankee.
That's
you have made a touch and go. Yes. And at the end of the month, they will say, Blue Chip, we had Sierra Yankee, we had Foxtrot Juliet Tango, we had the Sierra Hotel Victor.
They all need a touch and go here. We want some money.
And we want our cash.
Wow.
Quite fast.
Not cheap.
Definitely.
Not cheap.
Definitely. That's the way it's done. Then next, insurance fees.
Okay.
Okay. Charge for the insurance coverage of the aircraft and you as a person. I think that one is understandable.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, simulation fees.
Besides, Captain, insurance fees we've spoken. Share them on the future.
Oh, okay.
Let's say a student pilot has crashed the aircraft. You know, remember the types of landings.
Then the insurance comes in and
compensates that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. But after
you're going on the good side, Mr. Lukman. Once you've landed on the highway, the landing gears are all broken.
Yes,
the insurance is covered.
Then what we're looking at here, after a good thorough investigation by the insurance company, then they will come in and compensate. If it's the negligence of the flight trainer or the flight instructor, together with his pilot in command or the student, then the insurance won't pay, of course.
Then I will have to incur extra costs.
So the school won't grant you flight if the aircrafts are not insured. Just for backup. In ordinary life, we pay for third party, but I've never used it, and I've been in a lot of times. I've been here, but I haven't even got compensated by this time. So next, the insurance as a student, you need one.
Wait a minute, Captain. Let's go back up here. number 3.
Number 3, yeah.
I've paid rent of fees for the aircraft. I've done the medicals, the airport fees, everything is paid. And once my instructor is not satisfied with, let's say, by 2 hours on board, do I still have to go back and repay everything to redo this? I mean, the
once you fail the check ride.
I failed the check ride.
Yeah.
So I go back to number 3. I can rent another aircraft, do all this another payment.
But
Wow.
but the goal in it is that you don't feel it because it's not it's in one batch. You pay for the flight.
Captain, I don't understand that.
The goal in it is
I failed the check ride.
you failed the check ride,
Yes.
and you need to go back and they specifically look at the exercise you failed. Okay, if it's being stalls, they say okay, you've climbed well 70, you've leveled off well, you've descended well, you had a good turn, a medium turn, but you failed the stalls. Okay, you're given
recovery.
Store recovery. Now you're given another 3 hours to practice that. Then after those
within this amount, the one I've paid.
exactly.
Perfect.
You go back and pay it and do it.
Let's move.
All right. Next, simulation fees. Okay.
Simulation
fees. All right. Flight school. Most of the flight schools have simulators, just to help the student cut the cost of payment. Okay. So if you're incompetent up there in the skies, your instructor will say, okay, Mr. Chainel, man, look, you failed on these steep turns. I think let's go to a simulator where it's less costly. You master the steep turns in the simulator, in the sim, then we go back to the air and see how you perfect it. Okay. And it has already been working.
Speaking of simulation, let me engage Mr. Rukman.
Okay.
Mr. Rukman,
Yes, please.
Comrade Ivan has said, once your instructor is not satisfied with the way you're flying the aircraft up there, it could revert you to the simulator. We've seen simulator fees being lower than the actual aircraft.
Exactly.
Yes.
Why wouldn't a student like Mr. Rukman prefer to fly the simulator than go to the expensive plane at
okay. The better way to do things.
We are going to start from there when we come back from a short break. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for Welcome back from the short commercial break. Gentlemen, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
We went to the break speaking about simulation. How cheap it is, much more even cheaper than the actual aircraft. And I was asking a question. Would Comrade Lukman fly the simulator for 39 hours or 30 hours basically, and then switch to the actual aircraft and fly the remaining maybe 15 hours? Because this looks quite cheap and we are speaking of short pockets.
So the whole thing is cutting expenses.
Yes.
You see, flight training calls for realism. Okay? I'm going to shout it loud for everyone to understand the difference between an actual aircraft flying and the simulation flying. In simulation flying, we go to simulation flying to acquire the skill of flying. Okay? After having been conversant with the skill of flying, then we want to relate to the same in the actual flying so that we see, are we really skillful to that magnitude? Because you're not going to fly passengers in the simulator.
Of course.
Okay?
But again, at the same day, I've seen commercial pilots take a break from flying actual aircraft and then head back to the simulator.
I've actually seen, if you remember MH370, it's Captain Mayday, so rest in peace, and a simulator. Full simulator set up for 777 at his home. So I asked myself with my friend, so after leaving work the office, he comes home.
Besides having one at home,
yes,
it's actually a mandate, Captain.
Oh, it is.
They have to go for check rides in the simulator.
So it's not like a matter of like the way they give us this driving permits and they're like have and go.
No, of course.
You have to be continuous.
There's what they call recess. You have to show competence after a certain period of a break.
In the simulator.
Using the simulator.
Not the actual aircraft.
Because it's very expensive. Think of the money that you would pay for a Boeing or an Airbus, okay, just to go take on a lessons. Take 3 touch and goes during the day and 3 touch and goes of the night.
Yes, Captain.
It's extremely expensive.
So if commercial pilots return to the simulator and it's cheap, Captain. So we're still talking simulator.
Okay, now that you the simulator is to acquire the skill, okay, and to prove that you have acquired the skill is go actual flying with your instructor, because you're not going to fly passengers in the what?
In the simulator.
Next, there is a very big difference flying a simulator, okay, that is on ground, okay, and flying an aircraft.
A full motion simulator.
A full motion simulator.
Class D certificate.
Thanks to the technology that has really come in handy, okay, because a full motion simulator, like the ones we are soon having here at one of the innovations, will replica the full, the exact feel of flying an actual aircraft. But here is it. There are different scenarios that you encounter when you're flying. Okay? You could fly for 2 nautical miles without hiccups or bumpiness. Okay? Then after you encounter an area where there is a crosswind. Alright? It could be hard to simulate a crosswind in the sim, okay? But you gotta know how to deal with that, okay? By playing around with the radars, okay? Either right radar or left radar, depending on the crosswind, all right? So you cannot simulate and those hours are clocked. Then at the end of the day, finish up with a few flights in the actual aircraft. Then get certified for PPL nowhere. You gotta fly the minimum hours that are expected for PPL physically with an instructor and prove that you've got it right, then get certified.
So Lukman and I agree, you people are money-minded because
we know. We know that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Because also to simplify the whole process, get the skill from a simulator, okay? Come and prove to your instructor that I know I can fly the thing, I know how to do the drills, I know how to do my flows, I know how to do everything. Prove to him physically that you can really do it, okay? Then get certified at the end of the day. So simulation, you gotta pay the simulation fees. Lastly but not the least, we have materials and supplies.
Study materials.
Study materials. Okay. Of course, you'll be given study materials. You'll be given the protractor. You'll be given
the plotters.
The compass. You'll be given the pilot's bag
charts
with the strainer, charts. You'll be given a lot of information. The study materials themselves. Okay. You gotta pay for them.
True. Just like it is in school. That of course
you come with it.
Yes. Then you also have nav aids where we have the ruler, the protractor. We have the charts and everything. You're gonna pay for them.
When you're learning the basics, you still have to go by the protractor and ruler and draw.
To plot again.
To plot on you.
I
thought that's an ancient way.
Oh, my. And a lot of colleagues have really failed that part.
No. But Captain,
we
are having the coming cockpits right now.
Called the children of the magenta line for the enthusiasts out there. It's a term used by an older captain referring to this younger generation. That you just see a line on your navigation display and you follow the line, get home safe.
Yes. That's your error. But I really liked Blue Chip Flying School, and we had the best of the training. Trust me, I'm one guy whom you can drop in midair and can't get lost. because I'm acclimatized to the floatings, the Asian tour flying. Okay,
we no longer fly the VO1.
You no longer fly, not even the VO, the NDB.
The
okay?
NDB.
You no longer fly the NDB. Okay, so now you guys now fly glass cockpits.
True.
They come in.
With our parts.
Yes.
That's why my college was calling you the magenta guy.
You follow the magenta right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, to sum it all those ingredients or the components that you've seen constitute what we call flight training. And the ambiguity that you find in flight training as far as fees or payments are concerned are due to the facts that all these added together, okay, they constitute big sums of money. But thank God, flight schools or ATOs have the thing of paying module by module or piece by piece, okay. And the other thing, you can sit down with the flight school and negotiate on bulks of that or batches of that flights. Because okay, now look, I may be able to pay in groups of 10 flights, okay? Then you can negotiate on that. Because okay, it was worth this, but you can bring on this and we help you in that way. Okay. So you gotta be a guy who's good at haggling, with a smile at the same time.
Captain, speaking of still these study material things, are these things available in our local markets around? We're speaking, Mr. Lukman's enthusiasm.
Can I just walk
I mean, because it's quite very expensive to buy that pilot bag outside, maybe from Europe or the United States.
From here, I know.
We have one there. I mean, the pilot bag and then the uniform and the tie.
Guys, there may be bags that resemble, but we don't like things that look like. We actually want to have a bag that depicts the ATO or the school.
Yes.
Okay. You want to hold on to a pilot bag that has Blue Chip Flying School.
I understand.
Okay. Want to hold on to a pilot bag that has Sorority Flying School because it's part of the artifact. Okay. It's part of the artifact.
But you bought it.
You definitely have to buy it. Okay. You want to have a bottle, water bottle, okay, that has the school logo on it because it's part of the artifact. Okay.
And again,
promoting the school at the same time.
I've walked around bookshops around the city center.
You won't find material.
These things are not there.
They are not there.
So I have to walk to the ATO and then they have
their suppliers.
And they have to I have to pay quite a large amount for this because it's not in the city center.
You know, you gotta learn how to live by your means. I thank my colleague Abdul. There's a guy called Abdul. And there was another lady called Ashrafa. Ashrafa, I salute you. Abdul, I salute you. I salute Margaret. Margaret, I salute you so much. I salute Kuzi. Kuzi, my main man. I really salute you guys. I mean, these guys really helped me out with study materials. Okay. Trust me, I had the chance, but they simplified the whole life of navigation for me. Because there were some small things that I had to buy.
Yes.
And yet I didn't have the money. I confess to that. But Abdul came in, and Margaret came in, Kuzi came in, and they were no. We got done with that stage. You can have this study material. So it's better. It's very important to make friends when you're doing your flight training. Okay. So I skipped that badge and I used the whole process of navigation. So to me, I never skipped any drill of navigation. I had it once and got done with it. Thanks to my friends over there.
Mr. Lukman,
yes, please.
Let me give you this. We've seen a lot of this. The cost of flight training. Are you pleased by what Captain has talked about?
Pleased would be a bit of a stretch.
Still looks expensive.
It does look expensive, and of course you want to look for a solution to cut costs here and there,
of course,
so that you shorten the curve, and of course this is an industry that I appreciate. Is your reward is based on competence.
Exactly.
The faster you master something,
the easier you process the whole thing.
On you, even on your finances. Yeah?
Definitely.
Yes, but flying it's not cheap.
Of course.
People, when you see a pilot out there, respect.
They are rich.
Because we're not rich. Some of us are not rich. Actually, guys, some of us are not rich. But we were so
passionate,
cunning maybe, and somehow we juggled through the whole process of flight training. One, we had to be very competent, apprehending whatever drill we were taught in a minute of time.
Yes.
Okay. The other thing, we had to secure frames. We had to get frames so that we secure certain material things of a kind that would at least cut the whole process.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you on board today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Captain Ivan, Mr. Lukman. Thank you for coming today.
Captain to be.
Captain to be, of course. Which type rating do you even prefer doing?
My A330s.
You love Airbus.
Previously, I was a Boeing person, but that Max.
I'm the Boeing guy, and I think Ivan as well.
By the way, they are Boeing.
We are all, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching today. I will be seeing you, I think, next week. It will be a pleasure having you on board again. Thank you very much. We've been sponsored today still by Wama Aero Innovations, the only actually simulator company in Uganda, and we are expecting a couple of simulators again on board. Thank you very much. May the good Lord be with you.